What's up, Taiwan? I'm Reece Ayers with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The Kuang military exercise enters its third day with an obstacle drill on the newly opened Danjiang Bridge north of Taipei. Alan Liu reports.
Combat engineers set up HESCO barriers on a bridge to slow an advancing enemy force. Filled with sand or soil, the barriers allow troops to quickly construct strong defensive walls. This is part of the Danjiang Bridge defensive obstacle drill. It's one of the scenarios featured in Taiwan's annual Kuang military exercise. When this new bridge opened earlier this year, it immediately became strategically important as a key transportation link in northern Taiwan. If an invading force breaks through the mouth of the Danshui River by landing at Shalun Beach, the bridge could give a direct route toward critical infrastructure like the port of Taipei and Taoyuan International Airport.
有人会问说这些主角设施能够阻挡敌军吗？其实是不太能够。但是呢，敌军会考虑说，万一我要冲破这个路上的时候，它会增加它的进攻时间，它会不会改道到其他地方？那这个时候呢，我方呢也会想说，我就把守军呢埋伏在另外一个通道，用那个地方去歼敌。
The engineers also deploy steel hedgehogs paired with concertina wire, another type of defensive obstacle. Together, these are designed to hinder the movement of enemy vehicles and personnel, funneling them into predetermined kill zones. And concrete wave breakers were also set up as part of the obstacle drill. But there is more. On the other side of the bridge, those red lights lining the riverbank are tanks positioned to defend against a simulated advancing enemy. A closer look reveals a line of CM-11 tanks concealed in position. They are designed to engage targets while on the move. The southbound lanes of the bridge were closed through the night for the exercise. And there has been civilian participation in the drill too, highlighting the coordination and trust required between the military and the public.
It's not just a military operation, right? The defense of Taiwan is going to take everybody. That's why they're working on whole society resilience. So integrating volunteers, I think, is very, very important.
In just a short distance from the bridge, President Lai Ching-te inspected Coast Guard vessels. The ships are carrying domestically developed Xiongfeng 3 anti-ship missiles, integrating Coast Guard assets into wartime operations. Also helping defend northern Taiwan are Skybolt 3 surface-to-air missile systems, designed and built domestically, as well as U.S.-made Patriot missile systems, forming a layered air defense array. All these intricate military deployments are for an important test case scenario, protecting Taiwan's political and economic center, Taipei. Fu Huahong, Dauphin Chen, and Alan Liu for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has completed a fully autonomous search mission using AI piloting software and domestically produced drones. Taiwan's Chung-Shan Institute teamed up with American startup Shield AI to pilot the 3-drone search mission. The drones covered their own search areas, coordinated maneuvers, and landed themselves once the mission was complete. Shield AI says this kind of piloting software is critical for effective drone use on the battlefield. Following the successful trial, the Institute says it plans to roll out the piloting software more broadly across Taiwan's drone fleet. Several members of the U.S. Congress recently visited Taiwan. One of them is Republican U.S. Representative McCaul, a longtime supporter of Taiwan who previously served as the chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Our reporter Tiffany Wong sat down with him in Taipei to hear the message he hopes to deliver during this visit.
I know that you mentioned before that you are quite confident that President Trump will pass another $14 billion arms sale to Taiwan. How soon do you think that might be? And do you think it could happen before President Trump meets with Chinese President Xi Jinping in September?
Well, only President Trump can answer that question. I can tell you where the United States Congress is, that we are strongly supportive of Taiwan, that we want to see that foreign military sales package tendered to the Congress for approval, which will happen very quickly. I feel that I do believe the president will do that soon, and that's part of the deterrence.
So during this trip, you met with President Lai Ching-te and also Foreign Minister Lin Jialong. I'm wondering what kind of key messages did you convey to Taiwanese government officials? I know that you mentioned, expanding the non-red drone supply chain, potentially seeing some, partnerships with the U.S. and Taiwan there. Could you explain a bit? Congress
stands strongly behind Taiwan, both Republican and Democrat. There's no party distinction on Taiwan. I had the honor to meet with your speaker and parliament members from both parties, the DPP and the KMT. They seem very solidified on their legislation in terms of foreign military sales and also the drone issue. And what's great about it is it mirrors exactly what we are doing in Washington right now with the National Defense Authorization Bill, with the Taiwan Security Initiative Act, which basically authorizes $1 billion towards co-production of advanced drone capabilities in Taiwan and in the Philippines, as well. It's great that your parliament and our Congress are working together almost simultaneously in defense of Taiwan.
Thinking about the conversations you've had with different members of Taiwan's government over this week, what sort of messages and takeaways do you have to bring back to Congress and the U.S. government?
That people of Taiwan stand strongly with us, that the weapon sales are extremely important, that our cooperation between your military and our Indo-PACOM, our military in the Indo-Pacific, and specifically Admiral Paparo, is very important. Also, that the gray zone is real, that China is invading that, not just with their Navy warships, which I was greeted by the last time I came here, by the way, and then sanctioned, but also by a ghost fleet of unmarked vessels under the name of research and their Coast Guard, that they're exploiting that to go into the gray zone and conduct exercises. It is the first step in preparation towards what could be an invasion, and that deeply disturbs me, and that is a message that I will be taking back. And it's precisely why this $14 billion package needs to be submitted to the Congress as soon as possible.
That was U.S. Representative McCaul. U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered a 15% tariff and minimum import prices on a key raw material used in making semiconductors. The proposed tariffs target polysilicon, which is used in manufacturing chips, solar panels, and other electronics components. According to the White House, the new regulations will stack on top of other tariffs and fees already in place. But tariffs on polysilicon from Taiwan will be capped at 15%. Trump's decision comes as part of a broader U.S. effort to shift supply chains away from China. The order is set to take effect in December. Inflation in Taiwan has pushed past the government's 2% warning line for 3 months in a row, with consumer prices up more than 2.5% in July. John Van Trieste has this report.
At Taiwan's markets, budget-conscious shoppers are feeling the pinch. New figures show consumer prices up more than 2.5% in July year-on-year. Customers agree. Their money just isn't going as far as it used to.
现在可能至少就一餐一定是100块起跳。
买菜就很明显啦，1000块出去已经不够了。以前大概买鱼买肉，1000块应该有余额啊。
But the biggest headache is for vendors. Supplies are getting more expensive, leaving a dilemma about whether to raise prices in turn.
你如果说你不自己吸收，你要涨到消费者的身上，就是消费者可能不会来消费。
Prices for staples like rice, pork, and above all eggs are all up sharply. But rents are going up too.
很多房东呢，他在维护整个房屋租赁品质上面也都会需要更多的一些花费，所以当然它就会反映在后续的这个租屋的这一个租金上面。
July was the third month in a row that inflation passed the government's 2% warning level. And while produce prices could come down soon, barring any serious typhoons, situations like war in the Middle East mean there are many unknowns about what prices will be like through August and beyond. Andy Xue and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taichung prosecutors have indicted 17 people over a scam that cheated a leading Taiwan charity out of nearly $33 million. The accused include a former head of a local law association and his middleman. The pair offered to procure 5 million doses of a COVID vaccine for the Buddhist charity Tzu Foundation in 2021, at the height of the pandemic. But prosecutors say the pair put the money into personal and corporate accounts, withdrew large amounts in cash, and even converted some into gold. The Tzu Foundation says it plans to recover the funds through legal proceedings. The co-founder of one of Taiwan's most influential magazines and prominent economist, Charles Gao, has died aged 90. Gao is best known for co-founding Commonwealth magazine, a publication focused on finance, politics and humanities. Gao was born in Nanjing, China in 1936 and moved to Taiwan in 1949. Gao then moved to the United States in 1959 to study and later taught at the University of Wisconsin. After returning to Taiwan, he served as advisor to several government branches and won 3 Golden Tripods, the country's highest publishing industry award. Baking heat and long droughts usually spell disaster for agriculture, but for the salt farmers of Indonesia, the extreme temperatures bring a welcome boost to harvests. For most farmers in Indonesia, blistering heat and prolonged droughts are something to fear. But for these salt farmers in West Java, the high and dry temperatures, intensified by a strengthening El Niño, are more than welcome.
Because when there's a long drought, production increases, production continues every day, and the harvest continues during the El Niño season because it is a long drought.
Is that good for you?
Yes, it is good. It is profitable.
The farmers here use simple, century-old techniques to evaporate seawater from shallow coastal pools. In the same month last year, this area produced 25 to 30 tons of salt. But with the ongoing drought, production this July has increased 20-fold.
It is already hitting 600 tons, so the drought is likely to continue from August to October, but hopefully it will prolong to September through November, and then the possibility of a more abundant harvest will be higher.
While it may be good for salt farmers, for others across Southeast Asia and beyond, the baking heat means lower crop yields and more wildfires. This year's El Niño is already a strong one and could contribute to bring more record-breaking temperatures.
2026 so far has been the 3rd warmest year on record through June, but we expect it to get much warmer in the coming months as this very strong El Niño event continues to develop.
As global temperatures climb, these farmers are making the most of every scorching day, aware that a single rainstorm could interrupt this year's bumper harvest.
For us, El Niño is a blessing and a grace. It is something we should be grateful for and allow us to give more to others. For me, if I ask from God and He is willing, I hope El Niño will come every year.
While millions across the region pray for the relief of rain, for the salt farmers in West Java, every extra day of drought means more money in their pockets. Chris Ma and Reece for TaiwanPlus. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we're traveling to Trent Park in North London, where a former World War II spy operation has been brought back to life. I'm Reece. Take care and see you next time.